Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Before we start, we have a disclosure. Please be aware of risk in the future trading. We strongly recommend to stay on a sim as long as needed. Before you go live, you have to understand what's going on in the market. This is a very high risk. All our videos are for educational purpose only. You're very welcome to follow any of our as long as you are on a sim. We had a signal. We will cover a few auto trades today. We have a signal fired on the ES at 38.55.50, target 38.47.50. YM just fired the target. We're gonna go ahead and protect it. And then the NASDAQ was much more than that. We entered at 474.50, target 134.33.25. What happened when those signal fired, it came in exactly to the target. On the ES, target was 38.47.50, came in exactly at what the system estimated. And this one here also, the target, this one was a bit tricky on the NASDAQ because we have a double support area plus a projection. I didn't think it's going to hit the target. It did very fast and went back very fast. So at the moment, the direction is down to the market. Another things also, you can see from the market analyzer on the left upper corner, the swing trading, the ES Nasdaq Dow Jones to the short position and the 30-year Treasury bond to the opposite direction, which is telling you it is the market is in sequence. And the Nasdaq, little volatility right now. We got into the Nasdaq, but for the Nasdaq traders, there is no long. And if you are auto trading, you gotta be careful with the long trade because this is just a pullback. If you wanted to go on a sim with the trade, you can put it on a 468 25 limited order sell. And right now, the Nasdaq now start going sideways. You gotta be careful with the Nasdaq down in this area here. You should not be trading the Nasdaq. Again, you should not. For the YM is a clear direction all the way down to the 862. Is all depend on the ES. If the ES is gonna hold below the 38.54.50, we are in a good shape with the YM. If this market goes above the 38.55.25, we are in trouble today. So this is a really important before we start every morning to evaluate what's going on in the market and see where is the direction the market, where is the trouble in the market, and then we decide on that base to start auto trades or taking the trades. So right now the Nasdaq is no trade on the Nasdaq, short or long. You're gonna get bitten by the Nasdaq, so you gotta be careful for the Nasdaq traders. For the CL right now, I don't think so. We have a trade on the CL. For the CL traders, already target hit on the CL. As you see, the target was 52.68, pulling back, and this is a very, very tight on the CL. There is a potential short at 52.91, but you gotta be careful with that. If you want to do that, be on a sim, please. The only thing right now is still holding is the ES. If the ES goes above the 38.55, you are in trouble with the ES too. So you gotta really be careful. The market at 9:30 went up and down very fast, and that caused a lot of confusion among traders. And if you are auto trading, you got a few chunk out of it, and now we are uh, keeping our eye on the ES. It is very important that ES do not cross that line here. Then we are in trouble. That is gonna give us a lot of volatility. So the Nasdaq is going up to the 49325, and I'm not sure we're gonna go above that number on the Nasdaq. If you are a Nasdaq trader, please hold on to see if the 49325 is going to hold or not. It is very important not to take any trade. As we see right now, the market analyzer is in a really red position, and welcome to trade and nothing we can do. And we gotta be very careful how to approach the market right now. I will not take this long signal on the Nasdaq. Again, I will not take this long signal on the Nasdaq. This is the auto trade, and I will not take this long signal. Until we see we cross that lines here. You gotta hold on, and you gotta be very careful with the Nasdaq. Do not take that signal until we cross the 350225. This is a very, very high risk trade on the Nasdaq trade, and you gotta be very careful with that. And if you are taking that trade, you better break even. I know it's very tight, but you gotta break even very soon, because this is a no-go on that area here, and it's gonna collapse again. You know, this is a really, really a high-risk area to take a trade. The safest one is above the 50350. You gotta be careful with that. The market starts switching from negative to positive, but we're not out of the wood yet. You gotta be careful, because this ES is not into the green yet. If we look at the market analyzer, it's not into the green. The YM is not in the green, only the Nasdaq, and that is not good. And the 30-year Treasury bond into the positive. So now we start getting out of that area here. The one I'm concerned about, 500 250. The system estimated the target is 135.40. And if we keep looking on the ES is at the resistance area, which is going to drag the Nasdaq down. So those small details, you gotta be very cautious with it. So at least now we are on a free ride with the Nasdaq, but I'm not sure the Nasdaq is gonna hold, because right now the ES is having a problem with this projection at 856.75, and I hope it's not gonna get caught in this channel here between a resistance 856.75 and a support area 854.75. Then we are really looking for trouble on the ES. So We will keep watching this market closely. On the scalper is already up $400 on the scalper. Almost the same on the YM, 420, and now took the YM trade. On this is base the scalper on a pullback re-entry. And as we expected in the market, and that's what I was scared of, the ES did not go in conjunction with the Nasdaq, and which it dragged the Nasdaq down. This is exactly the trick in the market, and this is exactly what we were scared of, and that's what we have said. The Nasdaq tried to go long, and really, it's a very simple. Does not need a lot of knowledge. If we look at the market analyzer, the swing trade and not the scalping, we can see sell position on the, we're still in the negative position, and the YM is to the sell position, and Nasdaq is to the long position, and then the 30-year treasury bond is going in the same direction as Nasdaq. So we still okay. On the ES, we told you once the ES go below that area, we are in a safe area. And now the Nasdaq got really nasty. And for the Nasdaq traders, you are in trouble here, all the way down. You are in a lot of trouble. So it's going to be a lot of bumpy ride on the Nasdaq if you are a Nasdaq trader, and maybe you need to find alternative beside the Nasdaq. It's gonna be impossible to go in the same direction as the ES. As you see, there is a lot of support areas, a lot of projection, a lot of the Nasdaq is not tradable at all. Where the YM, you have a better offer on the YM and the ES at the moment. And as we see, the ES start going straight to the direction, and the YM start, as we see also on the scalper start firing signal to the short side on the right upper corner, and they start firing a short signal on the scalper. For the TI7, we already start rolling down with the short trade. The Nasdaq, there is nothing to look at the Nasdaq, so we're gonna cover the Nasdaq. And the CL start firing short trade. Really bumpy ride on the Nasdaq. Let's examine the ES one more time. If you are short on the Nasdaq, this is the final destination. I'm sorry, on the ES. Don't expect the ES go farther than 38.43.25. And if there is a pullback on the ES, it can be nailed again from the 38.54.25. So right now our eye is on the 38.43 as final destination on the ES. On the YM, this is where the system estimated 38.64, and this is where we are going to. And if you had auto trade in ES, keep your eye on the 38.42.75. This is your final destination on the ES. If you don't know what you're doing today, the market can bite you, really. You gotta really be careful here. So as we expected, the final destination on the ES is 38.43. We hit right on the target at 38.60. And for the gold trade, we are using the scalper for the gold trade today. And we are about to break even and leave it as is. The YM delivered down to the tick on the target, and the market analyzer is based on one contract, and the ES delivered right little bit below the target is very fine. I can accept that. We can drag a little bit on the gold. We're using the scalper from the market analyzer on the gold. ES, as we expected, this is the final destination on the ES, and that can drive you crazy. We can, if you are late on the ES, you can re-enter the market on 853.75 on a sim. We're not responsible for your trade. And Lewis saying, I like the calm on Sam today. No, actually, no, Lewis, because half of my mouth, I was at the dentist, and half of my mouth is handicapped. So, um, yeah, no, yeah. Thank you, Lewis. um, so we're done with the gold. And oof, the market is really something. There we go. Here is our final destination of the ES. You can see exactly where it stopped, Lewis. You see that? So, um, look, exactly 38.43 delivered. Beautiful. But I'm trying to dig something in this market. As you see, the market is really mixed, very mixed market. On a day like this, if you don't know what you're doing, can get very nasty on your account. Oh God, how I'm gonna find you trade? If this area, we're able to break that area here, the first stop will be 833.50, gentlemen. 833.50. YM is done. There is nothing on the YM. It's finished. For the CL, sure. Exactly where we have said, came in right to the target on the CL. Dropped a few ticks to the 52.49, and now it's very simple. Here is the situation on the CL. You gotta hold your horse on the CL a little bit. This is the system estimated 52.58, and then you have a huge resistance from 52.74 all the way to 52.93. It cannot CL be traded. From 52.75 to 52.93. Mark those on your chart, sir. You cannot trade those. It has to be above or below, but that area here you cannot trade on the CL. What did we say on the ES? Final destination to the last tick, 38.43, done, over. And we did not miss one tick out of it. The way we estimated, it was perfect. Now, if we examine the chart has much more than what you think. If we examine the chart to understand how to can simplify that. It's like when you're checking the pressure on your tires, and we need to check the momentum in the market. I want to simplify it. If we look on the top here, this is the high time frame. It's to the downside. This one here, the target institutionals are to the downside. They are right there. Should be between 11 and 12 o'clock. There is 90%, almost 90%. People don't know they exist, those numbers. That's why they still work. And the target, institutional target, is to the down direction. But what I don't like about this one here right now, what we do, we measure the buy-in pressure and the sell-in pressure combined with a 6 different time frame. This is very serious, because what we do, we have a low time frame and we have a high time frame, and we combine the sellers over the buyers and the sellers over the buyers with a 6 different time frame. So what we do, if we look here on the short side, we have a down pressure. The red is over the green. On the long term, the green is over the red. And that it is really confusion direction on the ES. But what it tells us is the direction is down with no question. That can give us the momentum is all the way down. But the problem is how strong that trend is in order for us to break that wall, because there is a wall holding that ES called support. This is the place, as you see, sometimes in the future trading, you have to break your chart in pieces. As an example, what we have said on the CL, if the CL goes above the 52.75, minutes ago we said that, seconds ago, go back to the video, to the 52.93, this is a no place to trade. And as you see, the market dropped down, and now if we wanted, I don't like to do too much drawing when I have so many charts open, and because sometimes NinjaTrader, what it does, it collapse all the charts, and I have a million charts everywhere. So, but if we look at the ES, it is, here is one first piece between support and resistance. Look, it's very clear. This is your first piece, came into the resistance, and this is the second piece right there. So this is your first, and this is your second, and this is your limitation on the CL, and nothing happened. This is your limitation. So if we are auto trading or manual trading is irrelevant, because this is a very tight trade in there, and there is nothing you can do. Nothing can be done. The same thing on the ES, where we called it to the tick in here. The ES is gonna keep going back and forth, retesting those area here, and then you gotta be cautious with that. If any direction, change direction in here, there is in above the 38.54, there is a heavy resistance all the way to the 38.58.25. Is a no go direction at all. So when we are examining that chart, going long is out of a question. identify the support area here, know your destination on the projection for scalping, that is a different story. But to take the trade in here as an example, if you are taking any kind of auto trade, it does require 1 or 2 bar calculation in order for that trade to go. So if we are talking about a couple bars, so your auto trade might get in here, but it's gonna get in trouble in here. Doesn't matter which auto trade. I'm not specifying any kind of auto trade. So this is a cat and mouse game here, and it is now, which we have a good size of traders. They've been around for many years. They can understand the situation here on the scalping, and they can scalp this market on 4-5 ticks stop loss. But not everybody have this privilege to trade with 4-5 ticks stop loss. So we need to be more cautious. If this ES goes to somewhere around 54 level, we can take a short when, gentlemen, when the other guy on an auto trade called ATR MACDs, it's very simple what those guys have, or worldwide, it's very simple. They are using the same basic indicators and a couple lines, so they are very exposed to their limitation, what they can do. So when you see this maneuver here, and the short trade is finished, and we caught it, by this time here, you have a guy is using Renko bar, you have a guy is using tick chart, you have a guy is using whatever. By this time right now, everybody is on the wagon long, where without a question, because all his signals, his MACD, his ATR, momentum, all this nonsense indicators, they've been retweaked for the last 20 years, but they are the same basic based on moving averages and some. There's nothing special about it. Just so by this time here, everyone is on the wagon long, but your job is not to go long with it. Your job is you sit down here on 38.53 and you short the market. So you are not following this amateur trader. Sometimes he hit the jackpot. I'm not gonna say every time he's gonna get whacked in the market. Sometimes he throw a rock and the whole tree will fall. Yeah, but how often? Because after 10 minutes he's gonna fall into this trap again and lose. So the things is why everybody getting on the wagon long, you can see it's not gonna get you excited here. You're gonna be sitting here waiting to go short. It's the opposite direction of the amateur trader doing. Or if a guy using a basic auto trade, by now every auto trade is going long, and there is no long actually. It is a pullback re-entry short. So this is the key is when you come in the morning, and as I have requested last week for a guy to just look at the chart for 5 minutes, is irrelevant to which auto trade he's using. Doesn't matter if it's from me or somebody else, is irrelevant. Because when we are looking at the chart, we need to evaluate what is our situation in the market. What is our risk in the market if we jump on the wagon right now? So after we explain the ES, after we explain the CL, now this guy out there, I don't know, now he's opening his eyes. and he said, hold on, I'm not gonna waste $200 a losing trade right now and get pissed. I will wait till this market give me clearance, and then there is no way we decide when to take a trade, and this is a puzzle to some people. Um, you don't decide when to take a trade. The market decide for you. This is the difference. Um, for a guy, is has limitation. He cannot play here. It's out of his reach. If you don't know how to scalp between, if you cannot spot there is a resistance here and there is a support here, and probably right now, if we are looking at the measure, the target to change the high time frame to the downside. Now the buyers start getting momentum. So there is a lot of fact in the corner. And another things, some people, the things is in the detail. Let me show you something here. When the ES came into the projection, as you see, it fired two different systems and telling you exactly what is hold. So probably you will catch it somewhere around there, but this is not what I want to show you. If you look at this bar, there is another measurement. We try to make it as clear as it could be, but behind the scene, there is a lot of work behind that chart. It looks simple, but it is much more advanced than you think. If you look at the bar, on top the bar that is in red, that is telling you, keep going, buddy. We're going down. Keep going. Look at this. And then once we cross this projection, there is a stars telling you we start going the opposite direction. And the same thing happened here, this confusion on this line 3843. So your eyes, if we look at the reversal, and how the system is calculating and giving you direction, it's telling you what is the next point you need to tangle with. It's like you're dancing tango here, back and forth, and the market does not go one direction. And this is where the detailed in the market, as I said last week, I'm gonna stay calm, Louis. I'm not gonna get excited. As I said last week, you have a guy can look at this chart and he sees rubbish lines, rubbish, and then you take another guy, he can see gold in there. So you give a piece of glass to a gentleman, he might find it a glass, another guy might see a diamond. So the detailed is in between how to break this market in pieces, because there is a certain area in the market, whether you are auto trading or manual trading, there is confusion in the market, and the confusion is going to cost you money. And that's why I'm gonna, from now on, I'm gonna concentrate on those areas here, and this here, if we look at the CL, the CL has been overwhelming, confirming the resistance at 52.75. It's been confirmed, and there is nothing in this area to be trading with, nothing, So this is very important, as we covered last week, for the guy. Whatever you have on the chart is irrelevant, whether it is an ATR, MACD, whatever you have. Just please look at your chart, whatever ticks you on the chart, whatever you have on your chart. Look at it for 5 minutes every day. Not for me, not for anyone, not to brag about it on the net. No, it's for you. Try to look at the bar movement for 5 minutes every day. Believe me or not, that does not cost you any money. Does not make you pay a guy to be in his room paying thousands of dollars. But just if you give me 5 minutes on your local charts, whatever you have on your chart, every day 5 minutes before you turn on any auto trade or take a manual trade in that matter. In a matter of time, those numbers, they start talking to you. You start day after day. The first day is going to be rubbish, no matter what kind of chart you have. But then, day after day, you start getting adopted, understand how the bars moving between the lines, between what's going on, and that is going to have, you're going to gain knowledge how to approach the market every morning. This is very important, guys. My worst nightmare in the morning is to start a trade and is on the minus side. I don't care about the market the rest of the day. But the worst nightmare for me is the first trade in the morning, early in the morning, to go south. That can put me in a bad mood all day long. So if I don't make money, it's okay. It's fine. Welcome to trading. If you lose during the daytime, it's fine. You got aggressive. But the first trade for me, it is very important. When you are auto trading, you are managing, and the first trade has to be winning trade. It doesn't matter if it's $50. It doesn't matter if it's 75. It's irrelevant. But it has to be winning trade, the first trade on any type of an auto trade, because it does not feel good on the first trade to be south. So try to another option we have on Ninja Trader. You can do whatever excites you, whatever chart you have, whatever knowledge you have, and you wanna increase your knowledge, and you wanna self-develop your own trading. This is very healthy. You cannot trade like somebody else, because what you see, what he can see, and what you can see are two different pictures. Maybe if I ask 20 guys right now on the ES, you will have 7 people will say short, you will have 7 people will say it's long, and the rest, they will say sideways. So when we are looking at the same chart, each one of us can make up his own story about it, and then this is the confusion in it, because you're not looking at it at the technical side. So when you are come in the morning, don't be thinking long or short. It is adopt the market as is, and try to tangle this market, approach this market cautiously every single day. You have to approach this market cautious. And then when you look at the market for 5 minutes in the morning, trust me, you will be in no time. Another solution for the guy does not want to use money, his real money, which I strongly advise to do that to start with. Try to limit yourself every day on a SIM account. Make a one SIM account for you. Doesn't matter if you are auto trading. Staying sitting and just looking at the sky. Let's say you have 1 monitor, 2 monitors, 3 monitors. You are auto trading, so you are over auto trading. That's very good for you. But what would like for anyone out there, take a chart, put on it in indicators, whatever excites you, put in there. And with Ninja Trader, you can also add a picture. If you want to get excited, you can put your own picture and get excited with it. And then what you do, and then try to limit yourself between 3 and 5 trades a day, either 3 trades a day or 5 trades a day from 9 to 12. I'm sure the first week it will be disaster. The second week you start breaking even, and then you start 1 day plus, 1 day minus. So when you are auto trading, please, doesn't matter where this auto trade comes from, does not matter what system you have, doesn't matter what system excites you, that's very fine with me. Just take a chart, do a manual trade, put one chart NASDAQ to combine, put one chart YM, put one chart ES or ESCL. Take a 3 trade on the ES, take a 3 trades on the YM. On a sim, I can accept that. And start getting the habit of it, because when you do this, it's not costing you any money, but in the same time you start training your brain. I'm sorry to say that, because like when you go to the gym and you practice your muscles, and you will be fit, and when you train yourself to spot the problem before it happened, does not even make you success trader. It make you also spot the problem in your real life. And during those years, I become very fast spotting things on a daily life, because the training every day in the market, being cautious and trying to predict where is this market going, have an extreme impact on your daily life, and then because you have trained your brain to always trying to predict what is going on when you're driving, when you're flying, whenever you do, and you will have an early prediction much faster than another guy just sitting in the bodega somewhere. So also it is a training for your brain, and to sit down while you're auto trading, try to take 3 trades, 5 trades, and be very German about it. 3 trades, 3 trades, 5 trades, 5 trades. Don't cheat yourself, and then see how your profit, your losses increase or decrease. And I guarantee you, if you do that, you start building self-confidence, and your brain start getting connected to the bar, and now you start predicting, and then we can turn on the auto trade like what we have done with the NASDAQ. When the NASDAQ took a trade, I told you immediately it's not going to survive that trade, and it did not survive that trade. So what I'm saying is, when we did the NASDAQ and took the buy entry signal, I told you it's not going to survive, because we had the prediction on the ES. On the ES was not in conjunction with the NASDAQ, and it was a really heavy resistance on the ES, which eventually has dragged the NASDAQ down. And this is the same story right now we are experiencing. On the NASDAQ wanted to fly. The NASDAQ wanted to fly straight to the 522.15, and then by 12 o'clock hit 546.75. Wanted to fly that guy. And then if we see Uncle Sam here, the 007 here, Mr. ES, is not going anywhere. It's sitting there. And that is going to drag the NASDAQ down again. And as you notice here, I want to show you, if we notice here, the NASDAQ start losing momentum because the ES is dragging the NASDAQ. So when you are trying to do your training by yourself, you don't need to pay me. You don't need to pay anyone, guys. The best solution for you, you can get guided for free how the market function. You don't need to pay for that. But by developing your own trading, develop your own knowledge, your eyes, get used to what's going on in the market, it is going to pay off for your own safety, for your own account, for your even personal life. So when you put the Nasdaq, even if you don't trade the Nasdaq, it's fine. Put the Nasdaq, put the YM, put the ES. And if you're a very brilliant guy, put the CL with it. But the CL don't conflict with the ES and Nasdaq and Dow Jones. It's a different animal. So try to monitor this Nasdaq, ES, and YM, and trying to take a sim trade by yourself. And as we notice here now, the Nasdaq is just started to get in the trend exhaustion again, and what is dragging him is the ES, and that's why is the frustration on the trader. Don't understand the connection between, and actually in the morning, the ES, do not underestimate the ES. The ES is your best signal in the house. Actually, in the morning when you are trading the DAX, you cannot trade the DAX if you're not looking at the ES, which the ES is in Chicago, and the DAX is in Deutschland, in Frankfurt, and both of direction. The ES and the DAX, they work together European time. So most of the time you can predict milliseconds on the DAX by looking at the ES. And now, if this ES able to break those area here, finally the Nasdaq barely made it to this level here, 135.19, but it will drop until this ES break those lines. Once the ES break this area here, the Nasdaq is gonna fly. It is 1048. It will hit target 2 institutional number before 12 o'clock. Those institutional number become between 11 and 12, 1 and 2, and number 3 is for the afternoon. You don't have to worry about it. So in the morning is target 1 and target 2, profit taken. Normally those, they are achieved by 11 and 12 o'clock, between 11 and 12, except on Friday, is on the first 2 hours from the trading, because nobody want to stay forever on a Friday. So if the ES getting up, breaking that area here, absolutely this Nasdaq is gonna break that line. Absolutely. If the ES fell in this area right now, this is where he's struggling, and it's been struggling since 1045 on the same level. If we look, it's struggling from 1045, and then this one here is gonna drag the Nasdaq. Now sometimes there is always different equation when there is some good news on the Nasdaq stocks, or there is which rally the Nasdaq, is different story. But I'm talking on a normal days when there is no major news in any major stocks. They usually, the Nasdaq, fly back and forth, but once it comes to critical area, Nasdaq does not move. Will stop until this ES move with it. So as we see here, the ES is still not able to cross that area here, 38.54.75. He tried from 1045. The market is very clear, gentlemen. The market, once you start learn how to read, it is very clear. It's telling you ahead of time what's going on. The ES is no surprising is having a problem with 3854.75. There is no surprise in here. So which is causing the Nasdaq to be on a standby. Simple as that. And once the ES break that area, this Nasdaq, you cannot even catch it anymore. And you will see it. We're gonna stay until we see it in person, how this Nasdaq is reacting to the ES, because ES, it is the 500 companies and and um, and whether you are trading Nasdaq or DAX in the morning, the ES is an indication when it comes into certain, not between the bars, is irrelevant between the bars. This is an empty space here. When it come into critical level, this is where the problems start occurred, and this is where the confusion among traders become wider and wider, and that can cause a lot of losses. Because, like what we have said by now, this guy, what we have said 10 minutes ago, by this time here, the ones are using they are very predictable, the amateur traders, very predictable. By the time you get here to the second, third bar, everybody is on the wagon long. And then they stop. And they don't understand what happened. Here's the problem. They don't understand what happened. And now if we look, the ES is sinking right under our nose. Look at the Nasdaq. So this poor guy got excited for nothing. Right under our nose, the ES can sneak right under our nose and go the opposite direction without us paying attention. And this is where, when you give me 5 minutes and look at your own chart, not my chart, your own chart. When you sit down 5 minutes every day, 5-10 minutes, look at the bar movement, you start, the charts start talking to you. Once the charts start talking to you, you become a trader. It's not how much you can make a day. It's how much you know is going on, And so as we see right now, the ES starts sinking and is dragging every single instruments with it, and will come to trading. Another option, and it is very important option, some traders dismiss that. On a day like this, when you see a lot of volatility, and there is a confusion between an ES and Nasdaq, the YM is always following the ES. When there is a confusion, mark my word on it. For next time, when you are having a problem by yourself, when you are sitting by yourself, or when you are auto trading, and you can see whatever this auto trade, I'm not talking specific to any kind of auto trade, whatever it is you're auto trading with, and you can see your auto trade is struggling with the ES, Nasdaq, and Dow Jones, which is aggravation. Nevertheless, if you look at the CL, you will always find the CL a trend when there is confusion in the market between ES and Nasdaq and Dow Jones. Why? Because those older guys, the ones they come right around the corner and you don't hear a beep from them. You can be in the webinar, they don't say a word. They will go log in, they will not say anything. They just snoop around. Those guys, they move quietly. Those guys, they've been around the block for many years. When they see there is a confusion in the market, they go to the CL. They find the trades on the CL. Because notice, when you have a problem with the ES Nasdaq, like what you're getting right now, you turn around on the CL chart, you will find it's trending. Always, I cannot say always, most of the time, the CL is trending. So when you are sitting by yourself at home and you're struggling with the ES Nasdaq, turn around on the chart on the CL and you will find out the CL is trending. Always. Again, I should not say always, but most of the time. So if we look at the CL auto trade, it's still trending. It is over. If we look at the CL is not It came in the first time on 52.50 and the second time on 52.50, and now is going a little bit down, but this is the limitation on the CL. And if we're gonna go any further down, it will end before 12 o'clock at 52.34 max. So we already know the destination on every market was going on. So if we look at the CL, if there's any pullback, is a re-entry on a sim 52.68. This is a re-entry, and keep your hands on the mouth because most likely you have to exit in that area here. So pullback, re-entry short, close out here. If you want to take a short here, it's too late. You cannot take a short in here. So this is NASDAQ. Let's look at the NASDAQ. Look at this one on the NASDAQ. The excitement was over at 35.20, 25. And it is the same story. The guys got excited here and then got bumped out here. And now, if you look at this number here, 13408.25, this is a re-entry based on the pullback re-entry. This is a re-entry point on every system. If we look at the ES, this is the yellow line. It was the re-entry 384300. This is the yellow line. If we look at this yellow line, is straight, it's not moving. If we look at this yellow line, it is a moving. And the reason is, it's been this one here, it is the critical area for a pullback re-entry 384300. And this one here is a pullback re-entry on 13499. So, and then what is nice about this re-entry on the NASDAQ, but also this re-entry is a very small re-entry because you got to exit at 35.19. There is not much beef in it. Why is so nice to have an entry here? Because you can take a trade at 498.50, limited order, and hide your stop loss below the double support area. You do not put your stop loss for everyone to take it. What you do, you hide your trailing stop. It doesn't matter if you take it from here or here. Your stop loss should be here. So it's not about 20 ticks, because you hear people, I use on the CL 20 ticks. It doesn't matter. It's where you enter the market, it counts. So now that NASDAQ is trying to break that area here, 520.25. Keep looking at the ES. This is the re-entry. This is the exit for scalping or a break even and wait. And then now the ES has to cross the 38.51. And this is the problem right there on the ES. It's gonna need a lot of buyers to break all this thick wall, and then you can start trading normally, whether you are auto trading or a manual trading. Once the ES break that area, you're very fine. But right now, as long as this ES below that area here, this is a very critical area. There is only one direction, is short. Scalping short, because there is not much to do. And it's getting tighter. If we look at the ES, what happened for the last half an hour or 1 hour, from 1027, and without looking at any chart, I guarantee you there is a lot of people has lost money on the ES because of knowledge, not because of their auto trade. And wherever this auto trade comes from, I have nothing against it. But if we look at the ES, from 1025, came in to 38.52, came into the support, came into the resistance, trying to break that resistance for almost 20 minutes, couldn't make it, coming back to the support, and now is it just so it is overwhelming. It's telling you the ES, it is got stuck in that channel, which is not unusual to see a market get stuck in the channel. It's not unusual. If we look at the CL, was stuck in the channel, and finally broke that channel, the second channel. If you go back to the video, I told you, do you have the first channel here? And then what happened? The CL dropped to the second channel here. And now it is stuck, and that is the end of the line before 12 o'clock. It's 52.34, and that will do it before 12 o'clock on the CL. There is not much left on it. Whoever took a trade, took a trade, and whoever didn't take a trade, didn't take a trade. It's finished. You know, so this is a really, really important. And as we see right now, it's 11 o'clock. The ES is dying on us, and the Nasdaq. If we look at the high and look at this, start losing ground as well, and now it's going back to the 135.0200, and then here is the double support, and we will stop right there on the Nasdaq. You watch it. Watch it. The Nasdaq want to fly, and Mr. ES here want to take a dive. And this is the confusion in the market. And if you spot it, look at this. It's right at the re-entry, but it's going down. And this is a really now the Nasdaq is fixing to lose. It came in on the first re-entry, the second re-entry, and look at this. Not much going on. They are, in a way, trying to go the opposite direction. So one of them has to give to the other, you know. So I'm going to leave it as is, let you look at it. And I want to cover something else I forgot. I don't remember. So we're going to stay quiet a little bit, guys. And there is nothing wrong with the voice, but keep your eye on the ES. And the Nasdaq, I'm not sure, wanted to fly. So very risky. Not unless if the ES decided to break all those. It seems like we are going to break this. Let's see. If we told you about those are included in the Zone Plus, and this is only for customers, it's not for the public. We told you about those institutional numbers. Those before 12 o'clock, between 11 and 12, they get hit. And then you have the target 1, profit taken, final destination target 2, and is over. This is where you kiss the Nasdaq goodbye for the rest of the day. The scalpers start now trading. Not much going on. on the signal scalper. Now they start taking a trade, but there is not much going on in it. The Nasdaq did not take any trade. ES did not take any trade. So absolutely, absolutely, today got brutal with the ES. Absolutely, sir. The ones who come and traded around 9 o'clock, the ES had tons of money, and then after 9:30, start going the opposite direction. Then went the opposite direction, and then all done, all finished. That's exactly what I have said on last week. I said you cannot optimize an auto trade because every day there is could be the market runs 9 o'clock, 9:30, 9:45. And optimization is not going to do you any good. The timing. It is the best to look at it and decide to wait a little bit on the, or you can turn on your auto trade on a sim if you don't want to deal with it, and see if this auto trade is struggling. If the auto trade, I mean, we're trying to find an easy way without all this education and all this dragging time. We're trying to, if you, any kind of auto trade you have, if it's struggling, stop it. Why you want to go live with it, you know? So now look what happened to the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq dragging the ES up. The ES dragged the Nasdaq down, and now the markets start getting in sequence, you know, and very soon it's gonna be in sequence. And then if you wanted to take a trade on a sim, we're not responsible for your trade. You can put a short sell at 13473.25 sell position on the first breakout, or if you are a conservative trader, you wait till the Nasdaq drop, go back, confirm, and you can enter the market. If you want to take Nasdaq trade, make sure this ES break the 41 level. Make sure the ES is going in the same direction. Look where it is. We're still on the same number we estimated. We need to see this one breaking down, and then we can take a trade on the Nasdaq. If the ES stayed above the 3842.75, don't even bother to take a trade on the Nasdaq. Simple as that. You cannot. It's not complicated, guys. It's just they need to cross the level together. They need to confirm the ES keys. And if you don't know the keys on the ES, you don't know what is struggling the ES. I mean, you know, you don't go to doctor, you tell him you have a stomach ache, and then he gives you a headache pill. We need to know what is the pain on the ES. And once we understand what is the problem on the ES, our day will go smooth. So the problem on the ES is this baby here, 38.43, followed by projection 41.75. This is a support area. It's been trying to break it. And the resistant area here, 38.54.75, which if you go back a few days, you will find 38.54.75 has been a key on the ES for many days. If you go back from last week, it was the key, 38.54.75. So it is not a new number. It is the same number keep talking to you day after day. And that's why what I said, when you look at the market, the numbers start talking to you day after day, and you start recognizing, you know, oh, I remember that number. I got whacked with that number yesterday, or I made money from that number yesterday. So now the numbers start talking to you. Guys, just 5 minutes in the morning, that will make your life much easier to approach the market. So the ES is trying again. Look at this, the same line. So now, for maybe there is a guy out there now, after he sees this chart, and we have explained to him, don't go short in here. Do you think he's gonna go short? No, he's gonna get scared because now somebody told him you cannot go short in here, because if you're gonna go short in here, it's gonna turn around on you. Then the guy start pushing his brakes. So knowledge, try to have somebody guiding you. You don't have to pay him, and try to get knowledge for your own. Try to build your own knowledge. I'm gonna stay quiet. I don't. The scalpers start taking the trades, but I don't want to encourage anyone taking the trades. I'm gonna leave the charts here as they are, and you're very welcome. You will find signals in here when there is a new signals appears, and you will find the signal here when there is a change in the direction. It'll give you a new signal, it gives you the entry, and it gives you the target. So I don't have to say anything. I don't have to call a trade for you. And if you want to follow any of those signals, you just please try to be on sim. I'm not responsible for your trade. Good luck. Okay, it's 12 o'clock, so we can force it down by closing on the top here. Close position. We close position 346,615 on the DAX, and then close position here, and this one 1,237, DAX 34, Nasdaq 765, and a close position on the CL, which give us 550. Okay, so that's all what we have for you today, guys, and we'll see you on Thursday. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. We support a new client, so it will be on Thursday. Please be safe, and to just let you know, there is a new signal coming into the YM. They changing direction. CL sell, 30-year Treasury bond sell, Russell sell.